My beautiful and radiant friend, it is King Gabriel again for another impromptu video, and today's video is what's the importance of words, or why do words matter, right? Now some people will say that words do not really matter, it's the vibration behind them, but I'll show you how they are intertwined and that sometimes it's worth paying attention to. In a real sense, as in a sense of spirit and its existence, words really do not matter, right? They are symbols, and those symbols are used to represent other symbols. For instance, when I say the word cat, in your mind will flash a picture of a cat, whichever cat you have seen in the past, or maybe a new idea of a cat, could be orange, green, whatever color you decide to make it. And I'm sure that when I did orange or green, you probably saw pictures with those colors flashing as well. And that's how we really communicate, right? We actually tell visions to each other, right? Like they say, tell a vision, television. Television is basically where they give you a vision, right? You watch TV and you see things, and those things impress upon your subconscious mind eventually and start acting out in your world, right? So understand this: spirit, the conscious mind, is in as through every single thing, right? Everything, everywhere that you could imagine, spirit is present. And everything that you are capable of imagining exists within that, right? It's not like you imagine it and so it's not existent. No, it's within that space. It exists already. Now when you focus on that idea, you take yourself into the experience of that thing, because you're searching for it with your consciousness searchlight, right? As you perceive and as you believe, you start to allow yourself to sift and go into that. So you give out a vibration, and that vibration is what you experience, right? Now that being the case, images and words propel the spirit, which is now individualized if you see yourself as an individual, and that's what they call soul. It propels that to impress new images and feelings onto that subconscious mind. And when that is impressed upon that mind, it is then experienced. So understand that if, for instance, you're going around and you're watching certain things on television and you think you have to watch them because it's your responsibility, and you continue to watch them, what you're doing is entraining your mind to start to impress those images upon your field, right? Your mind itself. You're training your mind to do that, and it will create that experientially, right? So what we're talking about here is the fact that certain people are influenced by, let's say, the media, because they're watching the same sorts of images of people of a certain type doing a certain thing over and over and over and over. And I'm not calling any names as to what type of people in all of this, just because I can't deal with that controversy, right? So here we are. But the thing is, they're going over and over and over, right? So regardless of who it is that's being spoken about, the continual imaging of that thing over and over is allowing people to think a certain way, so that when they interact with an image that is familiar to them, because it's run so much in their minds, they think they know everything about that image, right? The same thing is true for the radio. And these are not things to fear, these are just things to be aware of. The next thing to be aware of is in your environment. When you're walking around, there's much advertising happening everywhere. And for instance, when a certain time of year comes around, they'll tell you things about certain diseases that are common at that time of year. And when you look around, you may see things related to that. You might see it on a post, you may see it on a bus, on a car, on all those sorts of things. And seeing it enough times impresses it as a vision again onto that mind, which allows it to be experienced to you. But if you're conscious about it and you recognize it as such, and you see that that's happening, you also have the ability to switch your mind about it. And this is the savior, because as you see it, you can look at it, look past it, either deny it within yourself, which is a powerful tool sometimes, or you can look at it and renounce it completely, knowing that this thing is an experience. You can experience it if you choose to within yourself, or you can realize that it is not a real thing. It is a thing that is optional if you are willing to pay attention to it and feed it for it to grow. And then you can replace that thought with something that you do want. So let's say you see something regarding some sort of sickness or something like that that's common. You watch it. You realize, okay, this is not a full-on reality. This is not truth. But it can be experienced. I would not like to experience it, so I renounce it. And I replace it with health, wellness, vibrant well-being, radiant health. That sort of stuff. And so you fill your mind with things that you want to focus on, and bit by bit you fill yourself up to the point where you walk and you're immune to these things because they're not in your field. And that's where they come from. They come from the mind. The tricky part of it is that a lot of things around us remind us that this is a possibility, right? But it's not necessarily a possibility for us if we're willing to look past it on our own. Cool. So all that is just to say that words conjure images in the mind, and so the careful selection of words to convey a message is important, because if that message is misinterpreted or that message is not really landing as it should, the image that is given to impress upon the subconscious mind, or the acting mind in this case, would actually be an image that leads to something that's not within your purpose, or not something that you want to experience. And that's why it's important to use your words wisely. Okay, so certain words that seem to have no physical value, as in they don't link directly to a specific thing in the world, and most of these words would tend to be like angry words and stuff, just expressions of anger. They carry a vibration too, right? So if you drop in F-bombs and stuff all the time, the vibration of that is anger. It's not love. I mean, it's not really a loving thing, right? But people feel related to it because it makes them feel even. But if you drop it all the time and stuff like that, what you're doing is you're training your mind to see itself as angry. And then if it becomes, or it understands itself to be angry, it knows itself to be angry, its experience will follow that, right? And not only that, I'm not trying to pick on anybody here, but these are things that we can look at and improve ourselves through, right? If evolution is a thing, and I very much believe that it is a thing, conscious evolution is happening all the time. It's up to us to become better versions of ourselves on a daily basis, to improve. And the little places that we see that we can make improvement, it's up to us to take that step. Of course, we are perfect in spirit always, but if we want to have a perfect experience, it's up to us to take the steps to do that. That's what we're in charge of. So I hope that this benefits you guys in some way, and I look forward to working with you guys. Give me a call or find me at arealizationc.com. That's AREALIZATION, realization c, right, .com. So realization, the letter c.com. And you can also find me on Facebook at King Gabriel Quincy Collymore, or Absolute Realization Coaching and Healing.